All right, I think we got enough to kick it off. Cat meowum. Cool. Welcome everybody. Uno momento. All right. Welcome to Sprint Demos. We do have an agenda, slight agenda modification, so I'm going to talk through these again. We demo features from each product group. We always read the user story aloud before showing the demo and explain why it's important to our customers. What problem does it solve for them? Why do we do that? So we can create video clips that show the problem and feature to address it. We always show where the documentation for the feature lives during the demo. Why? So everyone knows it exists and where to find it. And also so we don't forget to add it, which is another check. After the features, so this is the change, we're going to show improvements and bug fixes. And so we want to make this a little more consistent. So we have created two lists. The Spotlight list is presented by the engineer who worked on it, and they may demo that if time allows. And the also shipped list is read over by the EM. So essentially, spotlights are something that we want to specifically call out in improvements and bug fixes. Also shipped are things that we're just going to read through for the sake of time to acknowledge those contributions. So with that, welcome to Sprint Demos for Sprint 48, Fleet 4.76.0, codenamed Cadmium. And we're excited for you to see the updates that we have for you. And I'm going to hand it off to George.
All righty, kicking us off first will be Jordan with Setup Experience install software coming to iOS and iPadOS.
Thanks, George. Give me just a moment. I'm going to do a quick demo of some features we've been working on to install software when company-owned iOS and iPadOS hosts enroll. Our user story is: as an IT admin, I want to install software on company-owned iOS and iPadOS hosts during enrollment so that I can quickly set up a new kiosk or Zoom Room device. In this context, company-owned means devices that are in Apple Business Manager or Apple School Manager and that enroll using automated device enrollment. We've had this feature on macOS for a while. We're expanding it now to VPP apps on iOS and iPadOS. We are updating our feature guide for software installs to call out that we now support this on iOS and iPadOS. And you'll see that we now have this tab where we can select and install software on iOS and iPadOS hosts during setup experience, whereas previously this was limited to macOS, and recently we added Windows and Linux. We've now added iOS and iPadOS. I will call out that this little preview right here will be going away. This is just a placeholder from the macOS page, and the change hasn't made it in yet, but it will soon. And so this is a team-based setup. So you can see this is a Zoom iPads team, and I'll come back to this in a bit. I'm going to switch over to my ADE iOS team. So this is kind of my default one. You can see I've got some common work apps selected for install at setup. And let's take a look at my iPhone. So this one is at the enrollment screen, and we're just going to hit enroll. So this iPhone is now enrolling in Fleet. We'll go check on it over here. It's going to take a moment, but as it gets into this enrollment, shortly we'll see it queue up these apps for install. Let's see, we've got some upcoming activities for these app installs. So I'm actually going to go switch over to my iPad while that's running, and we will talk about what the iPad is going to do, because one of the things that we've enabled outside of just basic software installs is this really cool sort of one-touch kiosk mode setup. So let's go back over here to my iPad team, and I'm going to hit enroll on that iPad as well, and we're going to take a look at what we've got on this team. So under controls, I've got this single app mode profile. This actually locks the iPad into the Zoom app. And so that combined with the fact that under software, I've got the Zoom app selected means that once this iPad exits the setup assistant, it will be locked into the single app mode and ready to run in kiosk mode. So it'll be a sort of out of the box kiosk mode setup. And so switch back over here to this iPhone. This does take a few minutes as it's pulling apps from the App Store. So we'll check back in a bit. My iPad has completed the installation, so we'll take a look at its host page. You can see that it's got Zoom installed on it. You can see I've done this test a few times, but it's got Zoom installed on it here listed on the host page. So we're going to finish the setup on the iPad. We'll hit get started, and immediately it launches into the Zoom Rooms app, or the Zoom Workplace app, sorry. And you can see I can't exit. This policy is generic, so you can use this particular lock with just about any app. So any sort of kiosk mode app will suffice. So let's take a look at the iPhone. So you can see it's finished up its installs. We'll switch over to the iPhone screen. It's asking me to enter a passcode. All right, and now that we're done with setup, we'll hit get started, and you can see I've got my work apps right there on my home screen, ready to go.
Very awesome. All righty. Next up for the MDM team, I believe we have Magnus.
Thank you. Yeah. I also have a video. Let's see how we do this. This is first time sharing. I think I could just share the entire screen and sound, video sharing. Yeah, let's go. I quickly want to call out that I maybe forgot to mention the problem for lost mode, but it's called out in the doc update, which will go into the lock and wipe host guide on Fleet. And the issue is that if a person gets offboarded or anything, you couldn't lock an iOS device unless you send a custom MDM command. So we want to lock a device up front for the user and make it easier for them with a button click, as we know with other types of devices. Let's see. Hi, so today I will demo this enable lost mode on iOS/iPadOS hosts. The user story reads the following. As an IT admin, I want to turn on or off lost mode for company-owned ADE iPhones/iPads to lock them so that I can make sure my organization's data is protected. As you can see here on the side, we have an iPhone right now that is unlocked and usable. And if we go into the panel, we can now see we have this lock options for company-owned iPhones. And if I click the lock option, you can see that we now get a new modal showing like how it's going to look. And you can, of course, confirm that you want to lock the phone. So if we confirm we want to lock, we get the lock pending. And you can already see that lost iPhone is enabled. We give it a refresh, it is now locked. Kind of like, from like a Mac OS device or other devices. On the iPhone side, I'm trying to hit the home button. Nothing happens. I can't do anything because it's like activated this lost mode. We can then go in here and say we want to unlock the device to disable lost mode. And a note is that you can see it says Magnus DM, and that's basically whatever you put in the organization information as the organization name will show up as this device is locked. It belongs to the org name. So if we go and unlock, we basically say this will disable lost mode, and the end users will now be able to use the host. So if we click unlock, we get an unlock pending, and you can already see on the device that it now is usable and works again. And give it a quick refresh here, and we see that we both also get locked and unlocked on this host, and the badge goes away. So that was this demo. Yep, and just want to call out a quick that there's a final UI PR for disabling the refetch on locked iPhones to be consistent with macOS devices.
Very nice. All righty. And then next up for MDM, we've got Sarah.
Okay, here we go. So yeah, I'm showing off this story, which is support the fleet SCEP renewal ID variable in the OU field, the organizational unit field of certificates. So as an IT admin deploying SCEP certificates for a third-party tool like Wi-Fi that has strict common name requirements, I want to specify the fleet var SCEP renewal ID in the configuration profiles organizational unit field so that I can enable automatic renewal of certificates. So this is an extension of one of our existing features, which you can see described in our guide here, connect end users to Wi-Fi and VPN. So documentation lives here. It will be updated to support the new practice when it comes to what the profile ought to look like. So let me show you what they used to look like. And so if you are currently using this feature, you may have a certificate that looks something, a profile that looks something like this, where your common name has, say, the host serial number variable that Apple exposes, and then includes this fleet var SCEP renewal ID in the common name. What we're introducing with this feature is a new best practice, which would be to not include it here in the common name, but rather here in an organizational unit field. And that allows us and allows our users to have more information included in the organizational unit, as well as make sure that character limitations on the common name field, for example, don't end up truncating renewal IDs. So we will, additionally, it would help in any other rules-based system where common name has strict requirements, say for authorization, what have you. So yeah, we've updated our profile here. I'll just remind everyone of how you would update that. So first, you'd want to have set up a certificate authority here. We have 3, and this new renewal ID is supported on a custom SCEP proxy, as well as the NDES proxy and SmallStep. So we'll just go ahead and upload that profile that we just looked at here. And there you go. It's been updated, and it would be pushed out to hosts on this team. Back to you, George.
All righty. And I'd like to say I nominate Ninja Turtles as the best demo team name so far. All right. Next up, we're going to be moving on to me again with the software team. I believe we've got a feature that, Jonathan, would you like to demo this video? I noticed that Haziel and Martin are out today, but if you don't want to, all right, sounds good.
Let me just put up the video.
As an IT admin,
Good to
I
go.
want to use the Fleet API to add an enterprise.ipa iOS or iPadOS package so that I can deploy a pre-release version of my organization's app to my end users' iPhones and iPads. So we have a customer that creates one of their products is a prominent mobile application, and so what they do is they use this in-house app package to basically dog food their mobile application internally with their employees before releasing it to the public. And the way that in-house packages work, or in-house apps work, is that you can basically create this .ipa file, which is an export of an app that you're creating in Xcode, which is Apple's development environment for creating apps for their platforms. So you're working on the app in Xcode, you can export this .ipa file, and then you can deploy that to different devices that you've configured with Apple to allow them to install the application. It's kind of similar to a .apk file in the Android world. Basically, again, just kind of an export directly from the development environment. So you can install these applications manually, or you can deploy them through an MDM provider like Fleet. And so that's what we've added. We've added the capability for Fleet to deploy these applications. Like the user story says, this is an API implementation for now. So you'll be able to use Fleet's web API to add .ipa packages and install them on devices. We will be adding support for the Fleet admin UI and for GitOps in subsequent stories that we have planned for some upcoming releases. So yeah, I can go ahead and start showing the flow. So I have my API client here. So this is going to, or the .ipa support is going to use the existing software package upload endpoint. So I'm going to go ahead and search for my IPA file. I use this one. So this is just attaching it basically to my HTTP request here. So I'm going to go ahead and send this request. And you can see that I get a response. I created a software package. You can see that various fields like install script and pre-install query and post-install script are empty. Those aren't supported on this because it's for mobile devices only, and we don't have script or query support for mobile devices. So now that we've done that, we can go ahead and install the package. And so just a quick note on how this works. You upload the package to Fleet, and then we actually install the application on the device through MDM commands. So we send out an install application MDM command, and inside of that we have basically a URL. So Fleet is going to be serving a manifest, and then the MDM protocol uses that manifest and then pulls out from the manifest file another URL, and that actually points at the package to download. So it's kind of a hybrid approach between our usual custom package flow and then the other Apple MDM flows like VPP apps. So it's kind of in between those two. So I am sharing my iPad that I have here next to me, doing a screen share here. So I'm going to go ahead and actually I need to double check. Oops. This is a different software title. So you have to pass the software title here. I'm going to go ahead and install the application. And if we come over here to my screen share, you can see that I'm getting prompted to install the app. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And you can see that the app was loading and installed successfully. And this app is a very basic app. It's just, it's literally just like the Hello World default iOS app that you can, when you create a new app in Xcode. So it's very basic. I'll go ahead and open it though, just to show that it can be opened. So you can see it just says Hello World. And yeah, now it's installed. We did add a few pieces of UI support, mainly around activities. So this is my local Fleet instance. And if we go here to the iPad, you can see that we have an upcoming activity for the install. The IPA or in-house app installs use the same verification flow as VPP apps. So after the installation command is acknowledged, we then start querying the device through the MDM protocol to basically verify that the app was actually installed, not just that the command was acknowledged. So you can see that the verification has come through. So if I click here, you can see the details of the command that we ran to install the application. We also have global activity feed support. So you can see here that we have the details again of the command we used to install the application. And yeah, that is pretty much it. Like I said, more full UI support as well as GitOps support will be coming in subsequent releases. But this should be enabling customers to use this through the API. And yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks to Haziel for recording this video, and full UI support in GitOps will be coming soon.
All right, thank you, Jonathan. And then next up for software, we've got Carlo with presenting the custom package that is a script.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, George. Let's see here. All right. Hello. Today, I'm going to show you something called payload-free packages, which you may also see written as no-op packages or script packages. But the idea is that traditionally, when you upload software to Fleet, you're uploading something like a PKG for Mac, an MSI for Windows, or a DEB for Linux. And these contain software and metadata and so on for software that gets installed on hosts. But sometimes you want to upload a script just like it was regular software. And that's kind of the problem that we want to solve for with this. The user story is, as an IT admin, I want to add a custom package that only contains a script so that I can offer self-service scripts and or select multiple scripts as part of the setup experience. So in most respects, these should behave just like regular software packages is the upshot. So we'll go over to the Fleet instance here and take a look at what that looks like in practice. So we're here on the software page with the workstations team selected. You can see I've already uploaded one, but I will add another one here and choose the file. And we'll do 2. So you can see I can choose self-service if I want, and I can target it via labels. Right now, we'll just choose all hosts. And then we'll add the software. You can see that it has been successfully uploaded. So now if I go back to my host, I can go to library and see some of these have already been run. Here's the new one that we just uploaded. And as the tooltip says, you can install this as well from the Fleet desktop self-service on the host itself. But right now we'll run it. And then if we go here, we should catch it in time. There we go. We got the upcoming activity. And now it should show up here. Yeah. And there we go. And when we click the activity, we can see the install details, and we can see the install script output here, just as we might expect for anything else we might install. And that is payload-free packages.
All righty. Thank you so much for that, Carlo. And that concludes the software features in 4.76. Back to you, Luke.
Thank you. Great work. A lot of cool stuff coming out with this release on the software and MDM side. Now over to Sharon for orchestration and security and compliance.
Thank you, Luke. So we'll start with a major impact we had for an orchestration team. Customer UFA, one of our biggest customers, had a fire, what we call a fire. And starting with that, we allocated a lot of hours to help them. And then this turned out into a major change that we are doing in the software ingestion. The bugs and stories and P1 priority stuff are listed in the document, but I will let Konstantin focus on the change that we did. And yeah, take it, Konstantin.
Sure. Yep. I can take it here. Okay. So we had a couple, I mean, let's start with the genesis of this issue, because that's really the history will show kind of how we progressed through this problem and where we are now. So prior to 4.6.7, when we ingested software inventory, we used sort of the name of the application in the Finder. So if someone decided to download a second version of Google Chrome and they named it like home version.app for whatever reason, we would have 2 software records in the database, one for Google Chrome and one for Google Chrome home version. And on the surface, that doesn't seem like such a bad thing, but when we're scanning for vulnerabilities, since we match on this name here, we do not detect vulnerabilities for this particular version of Google Chrome. So that was a problem. So in 4.6.7, we introduced a way of dealing with this, which was two-pronged. The first is we want to use something that is more stable. So we always want to kind of use this Google Chrome app. And that was a property in OS Query. So we changed the way the detail query works. And then we also now have a whole bunch of applications that are named improperly. So we have to go and rename all those applications. So that was the two things that were introduced in 4.6.7. So now you had, Google Chrome app and then Google Chrome app home version. And then we would kind of try to fix it for you. And then we would have two of the same row called Google Chrome and Google Chrome app in the software table. So that was great. Well, I mean, we did have some hiccups with some larger clients, but that was the intention of that fix. So in version 4.7.3, we had a customer. UFA, I believe.
UFA.
Yeah, UFA. Sorry, UFA. Complained not only were we not able to upgrade them because of performance issues, but they were also missing certain software records because of this renaming sort of logic. And the way the renaming logic worked is if we had a bundle identifier that was the same but a different name, it would rename it to the same thing. So in the Google Chrome example, that makes sense. But we have other applications like Slack is a good example. We have Postman, we have Notion. There's a bunch of applications that do this, but they have a main application, which you can see here, and then it's called Slack. And then they have another set of rows that are returned from OS Query with the same bundle identifier, a different name. And these are the helper applications. This is common in like Electron applications and other sort of situations, but they would get compressed into a single row where it would say Slack and then Slack helper. And, on surface, that doesn't seem like really that bad of a problem, right? But what happens if there's a vulnerability for Slack helper renderer versus Slack helper GPU? Well, again, we're missing the vulnerabilities here. So we have two problems here that we tried to solve. The first is the performance issue. So customer UFA had a large set of data. So we first tried to adapt our queries and fix the performance issue so that we could actually perform this renaming. So it would rename Google Chrome home version app to Google Chrome app. And then again, it would do this rename. And then after that renaming was complete, we realized that we couldn't identify the helper apps versus these renames. So we kind of peeled back that renaming in 4.7.5. And what's going to happen from now on, and this is very important to kind of understand how the system will work from now on, is we are actually using the modified detail query. So the chances of us getting a weird name like Google Chrome home version.app is very small. It's very difficult for the user to change this property that we're using. But we are no longer compressing or kind of squishing all of the applications by bundle identifier. So in the new version of Fleet that's going to be coming out, we are going to take things like this, Slack helper, GPU, plugin renderer, etc., and we're going to preserve them the way they are in the software table. So now we can attribute vulnerabilities to Slack helper GPU or Slack helper renderer. So that's an important distinction, and that will be impacting all customers. So you will see your software inventory change in what it displays to you. And that's coming in the new version of Fleet.
Any questions? Okay, this will be merged into 475, which is the version we hopefully release today, so not 76. Thank you, Konstantin. It's too soon to say thank you for all the people that helped there because it's not solved yet, and we are kind of wrapping this up. But maybe I should say a thank you, huge thank you for everyone, a lot of people involved, and thank you, Konstantin, for that. And we'll move to Scott presenting Mac OS setup and script upload UI updates. Take it, Scott.
All right. Where is my screen here? Stand by one moment, sorry. Let me kill this.
Hello and welcome to a special iPhone recorded demo of the new.
Sorry, 1 second. Looking for a screen. Oh, I don't want this. I've got this all worked out and now it's not working. Hold on a second. I'm just trying to find Google Chrome. There we go. So the story that we're looking at today is, as an IT admin, I want Fleet to cancel setup and show an error message if any critical software fails to install, so that I can be sure that users reach out to me to resolve issues. Thank you to Ian for meeting up with me and handing over a Mac that I can test this with, and also to Gabe Lopez and Sarah and Jordan and everybody who helped me actually get the Mac to enroll. This is my first time working on the setup experience, so it was quite a journey. So I'm going to share this video, or I will attempt to share this video that I have. Let me stop sharing for a second so that I can get that full screen for you. If y'all are big fans of the kind of found footage, jittery phone camera, independent film genre, then you are in for a treat because I filmed this on my iPhone. So let's see if I can get this all to work. Here is my video. I'm going to update the sound. Share computer sound. And let me know if y'all hear this.
Hello and welcome to a special iPhone recorded demo of the new cancel setup if software install fails feature. So as you'll see here, we have this new option on our install software tab of the setup experience configuration. The new option is cancel setup if software install fails. It's hidden under a show advanced options button here. And we have a tooltip that explains what will happen, which is that if any software fails, the end user won't be let through and we'll see a prompt to contact their IT admin. Remaining software installs will be canceled. So I have set up here a few software installers, and this one in the middle, Marco, has a bit of a poison pill. If we look at its install script, it's going to echo this should fail and then exit with a 1. So this should always fail to install. And I have all 3 of these selected as software. So this one should install successfully, this one should fail, and then Polo here should also be marked as failed. It shouldn't even try to install after this one fails because we have cancel setup if software install fails selected. So I'm going to go over here to this other Mac I have, which is ready to get set up. So we're going to click enroll here. I'll pause momentarily while this goes through the process of downloading Orbit, and we'll be back momentarily. All right, setup experience has started. You'll see it's blank for a little bit as it's downloading the UI. This is a little extra slow over ngrok. I don't think it will be as much of an issue in production, but it's something we can take a look at.
So I want to pause really briefly here because I forget to call this out in the video, but part of the story was replacing the native elements in the Swift dialog that we use for macOS setup with the web view. So this dialog, this frame is still with Swift dialog, but all of the contents are a web view into the Fleet setup experience. So this is also now consistent between Mac and Linux and Windows, and it also now shows any scripts that are set up to run.
We are now installing our software. We should see the first one, Echo App, install pretty shortly, and then Marco will retry a few times in the background thanks to Victor's excellent work on retrying software during setup experience. And then we should see the failure state. All right, so Echo app has installed, and Marco app is now failing silently in the background, and it's going to try 3 times before we move on to the last step. Marco failed.
Thought I edited that part out.
All right, and we'll see here that device setup has failed. Your organization requires the critical software to be installed before you use your device. Marco failed to install, and you'll see under the details here the message that I put in that poison pill, and it just tells us to restart our device to try again. It gives us a helpful way to restart the device. And we'll also note that it's...
Oh, I think this is this is the wrong edit of this video, but this is pretty much the end of it. So yeah, we get to this page, and the setup will be blocked. It just won't ever unlock this this dialog. There is a command sequence that you can use, Shift Command X, that will actually exit this out and continue on. But otherwise, the user has to reboot, and when they reboot, it will restart the setup process, skipping any successfully installed software. And that is that video, and back to you, Sharon.
Thank you, Scott. And that was a good video, and you didn't no dust spot was detected on your table. It was all clean. So thank you for that.
I did
as
a little
well.
sweeping first.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Scott. Next we have so Juan is not with us today, but Juan took over some of the tasks that were dropped due to dealing with the P1s. So thank you, Juan, if you watched the video, for taking that. I will try to present what Juan did. Unfortunately, I don't have a video for that. So we'll do with what we have, and may the demo gods be with us. So the first thing is link between query reports, rows, and host details. So when we get a query, when we do a query, let me read the ticket first. Link between query reports, rows, report rows, and host details. As a user viewing a query report, I want each row to link to a host detail page so that I can easily see more information about a host with a particular result. So we all know when we do a query that we see lines coming from different hosts, and until now we could not go to the host directly. We had to take the name and look for it in the host page. So what Juan did, and again, I'm sorry for not being able to show it, but just trust me using the Figma here, there will be a link on the host name. Clicking it will get you to the host. So that's the first feature. The second feature that Juan implemented is limiting the ability to use built-in labels for custom targets. So again, I'll read the change the story. Better error message using Fleet's built-in labels for custom targets. As an IT admin trying to use Fleet's built-in labels as custom targets for configuration profiles, software queries, and policies, I want to see an easy to understand error message that tells me to create a custom label instead. So the idea here, if we create a policy and we are using one of the built-in labels to do a custom target, this should not be supported. I'm now on dog food. If I do save, it will allow me. But after the changes, we will see an easy to understand message. I think it's yeah, this is the kind of the message. And yeah, that's it for Juan. Any questions? Okay, and no questions, then we'll move to the security and compliance.
Sharon, I forgot, I can demo that other one under me really quickly if you want. The update script upload UI.
Oh, sorry, yeah, we forgot you.
No,
ahead.
it's I
Yeah.
forgot it too, but I've got it on here. This one should be quick.
Okay, go ahead.
So the story here is an IT admin. I want to see an add script button above the script list so that I can add to my script library without scrolling to the bottom of the page. So this is front end only, and basically the issue was that we have in the empty state here, you can see in our script library this kind of call to action to upload scripts. And formerly, even when you had some scripts in the library, that call to action, the only way to upload more scripts would be down below the list. So as the list got large, it would actually push that off the page and it wouldn't be clear how to upload things. So now, when you have any scripts uploaded, you still have the table, but the add script button is in the table. You can click it to open a modal to install your scripts. And I think if you have a Linux script, it'll give you a little extra text around there. With Windows scripts, it doesn't. And also updated the UI styles to match the latest, both in here and the equivalent one in uploading profiles. And that's that.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Any questions for the orchestration group? If not, then let's move to the security and compliance group. We'll start with Team Lee. Unfortunately, Team is a little under the weather, so I will present the demos for him. First is the Santa table. Wait, I will share with sound and everything. Share sound. Nope, not this one, sorry. Where is my... Oh, this one. Okay, let's go.
As an IT admin, I want to create a scheduled query using Santa tables so that I can collect logs and trigger webhooks based on Santa data. For those not familiar, Santa is a macOS binary and file access authorization system for macOS. I'm just going to show what that looks like real quick here. So this is a configuration. Santa is installed on this VM, and it's really currently set up just to block WhatsApp right now. So as you can see, I can open up other apps. When I go to open WhatsApp here, Santa has blocked this. So to show you what the reporting looks like when you use the new Fleet tables, grab a couple pieces of information. We can grab Santa status. I'm going to run that real quick. As you can see, fair amount of Santa status info. We have a Santa allowed table. This is all the allowed apps. It can be very busy in this case. So I'm going to show you here is we do cap this to make sure we don't run into watchdog limits in osquery. We cap this currently at 10,000 results. Both these tables, there's a Santa allowed and a Santa denied table here. I'm going to run that real quick. Here we go. You can see all our WhatsApp, all my testing here. And that is it. Thank you.
Okay, team, if you're watching, thank you very much. Hope you feel better. And another video with a sexy voice right here.
As an IT admin, I want to update the host's IDP username via the API. so that I can have a way to add the IDP username without enabling end user authentication during setup experience. So as you can see here, I'm going to refresh this real quick. Do not have currently any IDP user info here. I do have Fleet currently connected to this Okta instance with some test data I seeded here. What I'm going to do here, this is an existing API, the device mapping API. What we added here is the ability to add an IDP source. When I send this request, refresh this page, we now have user information attached to this host. Also to note, this is still backwards compatible, so I can get rid of this. I can use custom if I want to be explicit, but again, it's backwards compatible, so I can still use this API to map a custom device mapping. Refresh this again, 0. I now have our custom device mapping attribute there. Thank you.
And thank you again, team. Team, I didn't know you were on the call. Anyway, thank you. And from here, we'll move to Jacob. Jacob, please take it.
Thanks, Sharon. So I'll pull up a demo video as well. So we are just adding vulnerability detection for JetBrains IDE plugins, and I'll let my past self take it from there. As a security engineer, I want to see vulnerabilities for all JetBrains IDE extensions on the software page, on the host details page, and on the My Device page, so that I can report on which hosts have which vulnerable extensions installed. So I've got a Mac VM with Goland, which is a JetBrains IDE installed, and it's got the SNCC security extension. And the current version doesn't have any vulnerabilities, but we do have the CVE that affects this older version here. So you can see currently it's got 2.5.8. And you can see here, after Tim's great work ingesting JetBrains IDE plugins, we see the extension, but it has no vulnerabilities. And we see that host details page and the My Device page as well. Now, if we change this version to emulate an older and vulnerable version, 7, save that, and we trigger the vulnerabilities processing, we should expect to see this CVE pop up for that Goland extension. So I did not have the same great video editing skills that Jordan displayed with that fast forward, so I'll manually save us a couple of minutes waiting for that to run. And we'll pick it up right here. All right, we've completed vulnerability processing, and there it is, 2022-24441. And we've got it on the host details page and on the My Device page. So we've successfully matched this Goland plugin with a vulnerability in the installed version. All right, that does it for that ticket. And I'll share a couple other, firstly, the documentation for that will live right here. So guides, vulnerability processing, this ID extensions will also have JetBrains extensions there. The next bug slash feature basically was this request to, we don't have a user story because it was technically a bug, but request to add this additional metric, host vital rather, for Linux hosts that encompasses basically the existing gigs total disk space host vital only checks the root path for mounts to determine how much disk space total is available on the Linux system, but you can have different, actually as described here quite well, you can have other partitions on Linux hosts that also might count as usable disk space that would not be picked up by that query. So, excuse me. Basically, we've added this additional kind of, internet's a little slow today, kind of large set of conditions to search the entire mounts table for multiple rows that might be considered usable disk space, excluding places that will not be usable, such as kernel-related mounts, process files, and snap packages. And this is kind of a best effort to come up with something that we can consider useful, but of course Linux is quite customizable, so this will be useful to some folks for sure. And the way that looks in the UI is we now have on the host details page for Linux hosts, we have this kind of system disk space, which is the existing query. Again, just that root file path. And then the all partitions result, which again, we get from these conditions on that same, when querying that same mounts host query table. And in most cases, it's going to be exactly the same, like you see here. But again, if there are additional partitions, this new query should pick them up. And then we'll see that also on the hosts table. So right here, you see we have this Linux host, and we've got that additional host vital displayed there. And not much in the way of documentation around that, but we kind of have our general description of host vitals. And that's good. We can maybe put a link to this query for users who might be interested in exactly what that field is taking into consideration and what it's not. And then finally, we had this bug slash feature, basically kind of an edge case. Some users on certain Linux, I guess, window managers or using GNOME would have this experience where when they would try to run a script on a host, so previously when you hit run here, when you hit open this actions menu, you still have to click run, but for this user using GNOME, when they open this actions menu, that run would automatically be clicked. And so to prevent that, we've added this intermediary check for running a script before running it. And then we see that same intermediary modal running from here. And then we're directed back to the initial modal. So you see there's kind of a dance of about, I think, 5 modals that are possible in this little, in this group of modals. So that's what that involved. And we didn't add it to the host details page run script modal because this we've already got an intermediary scheduling modal here, so that wasn't necessary. Okay, documentation for that, not necessary. It's just an additional modal in the UI. So running script still works exactly the same under the hood. All right, back to you, Sharon.
Thank you, Jacob. Any questions for Jacob? Okay, next, Victor will present a few things. First, Dante and Zach are not on the call, but both contributed, so Victor will present it. Dante added an OS query table, and Zach added a FleetD agent-based OS query table. And then finally, Victor will present a very cool POC project for conditional access using Okta. Victor, take it.
Thank you, Sharon. I'm going to share my screen. So let's talk about Dante's contribution first. This was an OS query change. So we have an existing table, npm packages. So as a security engineer, I want to run select star from npm packages. And so I can see globally installed npm packages on all my hosts, whether they're installed with plain node or NVM, which is Node version manager. So I don't have OS query installed right now, but it is, this change does look in all the places where the global packages are installed and NVM is installed and is returning these additional NPM packages if they're there. So thank you, Dante, for this change. It'll be coming out in OS query 5.20.0. I'll move on to the next one, Okta conditional access. So we do have a feature for Entra conditional access. So we want to do something similar for Okta. So I will go ahead and let me see. I guess I should read the story. As an IT admin, I want to check device health before allowing end user to log into corporate apps so that I can maintain my security posture. This means if there's certain policies that your device is failing that are labeled for device compliance, you will not be able to log in. So I'm going to play parts of this video and then do some commentary as well. I think I have it pulled up already. Let's go.
In this video, we'll show a proof of concept of how Fleet can integrate with Okta to block access to corporate apps if the device is unhealthy. Here we have a macOS VM, and we have an Okta dashboard, and we have a dummy app here for demonstration purposes. So let's go ahead and click on it, try to log in. We'll see this verify with Fleet pop up. Let's say verify. I'll explain this a little later, but it'll ask for a certificate.
So I'll explain about this now. So we are asking for certificate and ACI for certificate to choose, and then access to the keychain. So I do later, as part of this POC, I was able to get MDM profiles that are able to bypass these, these screens for the end user. So on Chrome, at least, we have the profiles needed to bypass these screens that IT admins can deploy.
And this certificate is currently located in system keychain. So we need to access the system keychain.
Let me fast forward this.
And then we'll explain later how to skip this. And now we see the device health is failed, and we can create a custom web page, including like what is failing and how to resolve it. But before we resolve it, let's go discuss why.
So in Entra right now, I think we're limited to displaying like a static page. For Okta, we're actually serving up this page, so we can serve up whatever we want, including interactive parts. I think for the initial version, we're gonna have a static page just like we do for Entra conditional access. So I'm gonna scrub this video since I did not do a good job like Jordan, to where I actually resolve this. So actually, I start resolving this policy following these instructions.
We open system settings.
So I resolve this issue. I refresh the device, and then let's go to see where I try to log in again.
Custom error message. So we go back to our app, we click on our app, it says verify with fleet, and all the settings were already set. So yeah, so we're in. This is just a dummy location. Yep, and that is the POC for this, and we're planning to fully roll this out next sprint. So unlike some other vendors, we're actually using MTLS to communicate to our fleet server the device identity. This we believe is kind of a faster developer experience and potentially more secure because otherwise we would need to create like a separate Chrome extension or a separate mobile app just to do that communication with Okta. But with MTLS, we're able to support all devices in kind of a more or less streamlined way. Okay, that's it for that feature / POC. And then I'm going to talk about what Zach did. So Zach built a table that customers have been asking about. Let's go ahead and read the story first. As a security engineer or IT administrator, I want to discover and monitor MCP HTTP servers running on endpoints in my fleet so that I can understand what AI tools and capabilities are being used, ensure compliance with security policies, and identify potential security risks from unauthorized AI integrations. Zach just put up this PR yesterday, so I don't have a full demo of this, but I can show you kind of the columns being returned from this table. So high level, what this table does, which is going to be in FleetD, next version of FleetD, is it looks at open ports on your local hosts and then tries to communicate with them using MCP protocol. And if they respond, it actually tries a few things. So it tries to gather some metadata, such as tools provided by that MCP server, prompts provided, resources provided. So it gathers that metadata and returns it. So it's a very clever approach. So thank you, Zach, for this contribution. Okay, back to, I think, back to Sharon.
Thank you. Thank you, Victor. By the way, for the Okta conditional access, Victor provided several very good technical documents and sequence diagrams. If you wish to drill down, ask Victor. It's a very clear document, plural documents. Thank you again. And look, this concludes the feature part of both orchestration and security and compliance.
Awesome. Great work, everyone. Excited to see these features live. Next, we're going to move into the bug fixes and improvements. So I'm going to go back to George and MDM.
Alrighty, we've got 2 items here, one for Jordan, one for Magnus. Guys, just let me know if y'all feel comfortable presenting. Otherwise, I'll give a highlight for the spotlight items.
I can present mine real quick.
And just a time check, we have about 20 minutes left.
Yeah, so my spotlight item is just this upgrade from 4.7.3.2 to 4.7.3.3 fails. This was reported by Glenn from GitHub. So I think this was his first issue in the repo. Super appreciative of his report and kind of detailed analysis. What this boiled down to was that when we published the 473.2 artifacts, the binary on GitHub was the wrong commit. The Docker artifact was fine, but ultimately the migrations were numbered wrong. And so we had to introduce some code into our migrator to essentially make it so that customers could upgrade from the right binaries, the wrong binaries, whatever, to our latest versions. And this just happened because in that patch release, we had to pull some newer migrations into an older patch release and renumber the migrations. I don't know if we ever figured out exactly why the wrong binary got published, but you know, definitely surprised when this came in. So really appreciate that report from the community. That's all for that one.
All righty, thank you, Jordan. And Magnus.
Yeah, sure. I can give a quick one here. So mine is showcasing this host transfer to team via post issue for customer Deeperdell and marked as like a P2 bug been outstanding for quite some time. And the main issue was that they're using an automation flow on the activity saying that if an MDM enrolled comes in, they transfer the host to a team. Unfortunately, there's like some race conditions where given some timing issues that the fleet enrollment profile can be delivered with an enroll secret to another team. So they get enrolled, they get moved to team B, but then the fleet enrollment moves back to team A. And of course, that's not what we want. So we dove into it and figured out a solution. And I think a good highlight here is that we came up with like a sticky MDM enrollment. So only when you do MDM enrollment, the host ID gets sticked to that team. For fleet enrollment, specifically Orbit and OS Query, for 30 minutes. You can still transfer via the Teams API and all these things, meaning that their workflow and it shouldn't disrupt anything. So yeah, that's the idea.
Awesome. Thank you for the highlight. And those were great improvements. And then we currently don't have any spotlight items in software, but I'll take a moment just to share the screen and review all of these real fast. All right, do we have, wrong section. Here we go. Improvements and release bugs. We've got organization support URL, contact URL, make file URI support consistent. This allows you to create a support URL to a file, which we didn't even know people really wanted, but it was something that one of our customers does need. VPP token assignment and GitOps issue. This was a issue where if you didn't have a VPP token, or no, it was erroring on dry run. Reverse that. It was erroring on the actual GitOps run, but it wasn't erroring on the dry run. So you would think everything would be fine from the dry run, and then it would error on the actual run. This is a error on the dry run now. We've got variable was not being extracted correctly. That's been updated. Better error message. Everybody loves a better error message, so it's easier to understand. And then we've got nil pointer dereferencing hitting the profile's batch endpoint. So we've fixed that. No more crashes on that endpoint. Then we've got UI disk encryption key button shown incorrectly. This is particularly when you were MDM enrolled into a different MDM provider, but also enrolled in Fleet, and disk encryption was enforced from the previous MDM provider. We were showing that we had a disk encryption key for you, and that was incorrect. So now it's been fixed. And then Fleet premium settings using different formatting, just a formatting upgrade there. For software, we've got upload software installer failing and blocking further uploads. This was a reader versus writer update. So to the end user, this was really frustrating because things just wouldn't work, right? And the fix to this was so that on upload, we are then checking the upload succeeded going to the right database instead of the read replica database, and no longer have those kinds of inconsistencies. Post count mismatch on software title page has been fixed. Then we've got package can be added to software title that already has VPP app added to it. This was a call out because now we have in-house apps. This wasn't a problem before, but now with adding in in-house apps, making sure that they don't collide. Missing activity log items when MDM enrollment profile is removed and pending VPP installs are canceled. They now show up in your audit log, as auditing is core to Fleet. And Rachel fixed missing post-install script output in the UI. This was a regression on the software install, post-install script no longer being shown in the update, and now it's been returned. And that's it for MDM and software bugs and improvements.
Cool. Thank you, George. Over to you, Sharon and orchestration. And you have 15.5 minutes.
Yeah, we'll try to make it. I'll start with a list of bugs and improvements from Ian. I'll show a video. Let's do it on 1.5 maybe. Wait a second.
Let's talk through a few bugs that got fixed in this past sprint on 475 and 476 releases of Fleet Server. First off, I want to make note of labels based on host vitals, specifically identity provider. This actually landed for iOS and iPadOS in 475, and I wound up verifying that the work that Carlo had done for this was actually sufficient to get it working for iOS and iPadOS as well as Android. There's a copy update that is landing in 475. Effectively, this is a kind of unreleased bug that got fixed prior to the 475 release. With that, I've done some research over the past week or so to see where we could best improve software ingestion and vulnerability matching on a few edge cases on macOS. If you hop through here, got a couple of queries and live queries based on macOS apps in particular. If you want to play around with this on your own set of hosts, and based on that, found a few pieces of low-hanging fruit. First off, the way that macOS software ingestion works is we look at the display name followed by bundle name followed by bundle executable, which are all locked behind a plist, and you can't modify those variables without breaking signing on the application, and until you re-sign with something, then you can't run the app. One catch with those is sometimes vendors are a little bit messy on what they put in those plists, and one case of that was macOS Steam games. So the fix for this was a small change to our detail query to fall back a bit further when we see this run.sh as bundle executable, but where display name and bundle name are empty. There were a few other cases where it made the most sense to do tweaks to ingestion, not touching the detail query at all, to provide a more sensible software name when display name and bundle name were blank and the bundle executable was not helping very much. We're doing this matching based on bundle ID, so we don't wind up modifying names for software on ingestion that weren't intended. Finally, there were a couple of cases where we needed to add some CPE translations, and those are going out in the CPE translation feed updates quite shortly. Note that the tickets that I just showed are all landing in Fleet 475, not 476. Now onto the 476 items. First off, there was a little bit of a miss on a couple cases where we had relative timestamps in a few places in the UI, but no absolute timestamps in the tooltips. I was able to fix that. And then gone are the days where you have syncing one policies in GitOps. We're now properly using singular and plural in the various cases where we refer to one or many of a resource edited by GitOps in Fleet.
Okay, thank you, Ian. Next, Konstantin went off the meeting to help with the 475 load test, so I will read these things for him. The first thing is 33668. This is what caused the, this is an improvement to hopefully prevent things like what happened to customer UFA. The main fix here, let me read it first. Full repro and fix increased DB load and errors after update to 473.3. So in 73.5, Konstantin introduced a backoff for when a lot of agents are coming in and the server tried to update some software ingestion stuff, and the database is locked. Instead of trying it again and again, it's like beating a dead horse. What we do is we back off and we say, okay, we won't have up-to-date information, but at least we don't kill the DB. And this is something that we need to think about going to larger and larger customers, something that should be in our mind. But anyway, this was introduced here. It's a small fix, but should be hopefully doing good. These two items were discussed by Konstantin. The change, the 28788 is the change that does not squash bundle IDs. And another one from Lucas, I don't think Konstantin went over it. I'll just read it out so for the sake of time. Repeated license expiry warning during, sorry, this was not Lucas, apologize. Repeated license expiry warning during GitOps run. This was also fixed by Konstantin. And from here, I'll move to Scott. Please present.
Yeah, this was just a pretty simple thing. I don't think we need to do a demo of it, but yeah, the nav bar, when you click controls, depending on if you were on a different tab, it wouldn't take you back to like the main default controls page. So we fixed that.
Okay, thank you, thank you, Scott. And I'll read quickly bugs from Lucas. First, I need to say, Lucas just today is Lucas' 4th anniversary. So congrats, Lucas. And also, Lucas left for a parental leave. I didn't hear the latest news, but we are adding a prayer that everything is okay, and we'll hear good news soon. So thank you, Lucas. And going to the fixed bugs, label issue with Fedora Linux on Ubuntu. Quickly showing it. There was a label issue here, and this was fixed. I will not drill down into it. Missing platform key for built-in labels, and Redis memory usage due to live query bitmaps not freeing. All things were corrected. From Juan, 4 bug fixes. Opening settings on a team you do not have settings permissions for quietly redirect you to a different team. Pretty self-explanatory, was fixed. Next, custom organization logo. Not updated on save and we had strange loading state on my device. This is something that in specific scenarios, the fleet logo, we have a video here, I will not show it, but the fleet logo returned instead of the custom organization logo was fixed. Another one, slow live queries due to row count in distributed query campaigning targets. Again, it's fixed. And last one from Juan is GitOps checkbox status does not stay after saving changes in source replica MySQL environment. Some kind of a weird front-end thingy that was fixed. Next, going to security and any questions about the bugs, fixes? Okay. Moving to security and compliance team, I will start with Jacob. Please take it. Tell me if you want to share your screen and we want to show it here.
Oh,
I'll let you share.
Sure. Sorry, I wasn't. I didn't realize I'd be sharing the bugs. Let's see. I'll go ahead and share. Okay. Those are the features.
Just a time call that we have 8 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, all right. So we had a false positive. I don't even remember what software that was for at this point. Okay, but I fixed it. And another false positive for Logibolt app. There's some other software that uses Bolt in the name, and this software hasn't been updated since 2002 or something, so reconciled that. And this was a bug where on that group of modals around running scripts that I built that feature on, there was a bug where when you deleted just like it says, when you delete a script, it would take you back to the script details modal, which now had no information in it since you just deleted it. So rerouted that. Okay, back to you.
Thank you, Jacob. Next, we have Victor with a list of bugs.
Thank you, Sharon. So first one is customer reported bugs. So, as we're trying to scale, our customers have a lot of stuff in their fleet instances. So in this case, there's slowdown when you go to the software page, and even in Dogfood you can see it. And like if you click on versions, and takes a couple seconds to get, and our customers have more data, so it takes longer for them. And then if you go to vulnerabilities, it also takes a while. So this is going to be improving the load times for those pages. Next one, enter conditional access. We saw an issue in Dogfood. This was fixed in the Entra admin configs. Also, there's now outstanding questions of why it started failing. Next one is interesting. So this is related deadlocks. This is related to the fact that I also worked on adding OpenTelemetry support to our load test. So as I was adding OpenTelemetry support to a load test, which uses Jorge's config, can be done like this. I was easily able to notice that about 20% of inserts into this table were failing with deadlocks. So I went ahead and made improvements to that so that our customers don't have to hit it. Next one, some debug messages cleaned up. This one, part of the Okta POC. I was actually trying to use our existing host identity CA for Okta, and I hit an issue because the common name was conflicting with our Apple MDMCA. So I think going forward, we need to be more careful regarding naming our CAs and naming our certificates as we're managing more certificates in Fleet. Next one, this is related to Konstantin's software ingestion issue. This was just a minor corner case that was handled. Next one, also related to what Konstantin was working on, and I was out that day, so Dante kind of helped get this it's actually a reversion from a previous fix that didn't work. Already mentioned OTel, and then we're collecting metrics such as time to merge, time to QA. So I added those metrics for the new security and compliance team. Back to you, Sharon.
Thank you. And next we have a P1 that should have actually been on the spotlight, but I will not ask Tim to present it. I'll do it. Sorry, am I sharing the right screen? Yeah. So anyway, the security and compliance team had their share of P1s as a P1 as well. And thank you, team, for hopping on it and taking this P1, solving a major problem when upgrading to 73.2. Again, I will not drill down into it, but we had errors coming, with versions. And again, thank you, team, for fixing that. Last thing, we have a few fixes by Dante. 33410 SHA-256 always null in this API in in software API, and in hosts populate software API was fixed. And last one, VS Code icon on WhatsApp icon are different in software inventory. And this concludes all that orchestration, security, and compliance did. So back to you, Luke.
Awesome. With 3 minutes to spare. Look at y'all. Thank you very much. Very, very exciting release. Some great demos. Appreciate all the effort going into this, and looking forward to getting it shipped in the next few weeks. Have a good weekend and rest of your Friday, and we'll talk soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Yeah.